into a real fight wasn't right. Where can she dream here? Took a hold of her.
Okay, so obviously it's not Wednesday, it is Friday. Thank you very much for joining us for this Community Impact Short. What this is throughout the week, we perform a couple interviews, and these are interviews that I don't want to wait until Wednesday to get them out to you. I want you to hear about them right away. So what we've done is we've conducted 2 interviews, one yesterday and one today, and we're putting together a real quick, short 1 hour to get the information out to you today, and then we will replay these episodes on the episode Wednesday night. So it is kind of, one of those things that, it's not going to be exclusive on Wednesday night, but this is information that we need to share with you. It's so important to get it out there. And it's welcoming one person to our family. And another one, I'm pretty sure that we're going to be having some news about that very, very soon, probably within, maybe a week or so. But stay tuned for that. The first interview that we're doing is with a brand new family member. She is a Gold Family Partner. Her name is Tanya Block-Rousen, and I give her all the credit in the world for the growth that we have had the last month, because her program is so strong in helping us to get our message out there. If you are struggling in business to try to get eyes on you, pay some close attention to this one, because I really think that this here can help you and your business like it has helped mine. This is my interview with Tanya Block-Rousen. I am, without a doubt, very, very technologically challenged. And things as simple as even emails have always been something that's been very, very frustrating to me. I met Tanya a couple months ago on our networking event, the Colorado networking event. And we had talked a few times, and then we finally got together, and she was showing me her program. And I'm going to tell you something right now. It has saved so much time. Tanya Block-Rousen, how are you doing?
I am doing well, thank you.
You provide a service to people where I was spending, and this is no joke, and I think that this was exactly what I came to you about. I was spending probably 25, 30 hours a week just putting out Facebook posts about partners and stuff like that. And I wanted one thing specifically, to where I could take and schedule a Facebook post to come out the same time, same day every week. Just get it done and over with. And you're like, yeah, okay, that's simple. And I was like, huh. And so that got me excited. And then I started using your email marketing. My email marketing is like waves above where it was before, because your company, Smart Virtual Solutions, focuses on what Google and Gmail and Yahoo and what they are telling people that they need to do to make sure that the emails don't go into the spam boxes
or be completely rejected.
Yeah. What is it about what you guys do that makes your service so much better than the other things that are out there?
So first, I will fully be transparent of the fact that I am a white label reseller of a up and coming product called Go High Level, or they also call it High Level. And so my version of that is Smart Virtual Solution. And so they have developers that are a lot smarter than me that pay attention to all of these little intricate things, like making sure that you can see the granular level of your emails going through, why they're not going through, what wasn't quite right. And High Level itself is an all-in-one marketing platform that is based on CRM, so customer relationship management principles, so that you can keep track of your contacts and be able to communicate with them with emails and or text messages. To do that with text-based or pretty-based, like the ones that you send out, that you can do with things like MailChimp or whatnot. And having those pieces, the reason I got into it is because I was taping my business together. I was using Calendly, I was trying to use HubSpot, I was trying to use MailChimp, and none of that stuff talked to each other and things were being missed. And I wanted to make sure that everything was going all into the same place. And that was the biggest key for me, is I didn't want to be scattered in my tech and my marketing anymore. And this was my solution. And there is a new breaking edge piece of their puzzle coming out literally every day. I am now on developer calls every single day to make sure that I'm staying up to date on all of the new changes that they're doing every day.
Well, I'm going to, like I said, your programs, the Go High Level program, Smart Virtual Solutions has done amazing things. There were people who have been signed up for my email to receive my emails for 2, 3, 4, 5 years who never got one, and now they're getting them, and they're like, "We kind of forgot that you even existed." And the cool thing about it is that they can take and they can reply right back to the email. It comes back to me. Somebody sends me a text message, it comes back to me on the same app, in the same thing. Somebody wants to just send me a quick message, it comes through that. As you saw on there, you guys also have website building. You have the
calendar links,
calendar links,
automatic communication.
Yes, we're working on moving our job forms over to your program. I mean, everything is customizable, everything. And I think one of the most unique things about what you do, and the best thing about what you do, you have a program where every week, if you have a question, you're there for answers. People can come to you on Tuesday mornings and ask questions and get answers and get the instruction on how to work that. And I think that is so valuable, because there are so many people that, well, let's be honest, you get onto a phone and you can't hardly understand what they're saying, and it's hard to use. What drove you to open such a hands-on, I want to help you company?
I started my corporate career when I was 16, and I started out as an executive assistant, or I was helping executive assistants when I was 16. But, when I got out of college, I went into being an executive assistant. And so I've always been the person helping other people run their business. And I was living in Texas at the time, and life brought me, I was born in Colorado. We moved when I was 7. And when I came back to Colorado, I ended up living in some rural areas or more than an hour away from some of the city centers where I can make some money. And so I had to go virtual because I didn't want to drive and have that drive, or have the winter drive at the very least.
Yeah.
So I am fundamentally, even when I was a kid, I played Office and I played school, and I didn't play dolls. I played office. So I've always wanted to help people with their business. And I've always been the teacher, the educator, the implementer, the one that could solve the problems and then teach people how that problem was solved. And that's just part of who I am and what my makeup is. I like to think outside the box. I don't want to keep doing things the same way they've always been done. If there might be another solution that's easier, faster, more economical. And I've found that all the way around, this tech has done that. But everything that since I started out as a virtual assistant, I don't consider myself a virtual assistant any longer. Oddly, it just kind of tweaks me a little bit when I'm called that. But some people, it's just the world. It's okay. But a lot of people are really they really don't like tech. It scares them. It intimidates them. And I've never been that person. I like getting in and pushing the buttons and seeing what happens and knowing that I can always hit the undo button or things like that, that I love playing with the tech. And it's kind of it's a puzzle for me that's kind of fun to figure out. And I'm not intimidated by it. Now, there's some tech that I am. If I have to use codes and all that other stuff, I don't do coding too much. But playing with buttons on a website, that never bothers me. That's the fun part.
I think one of the weirdest things is I'm in my mid 50s, and you think about it, and we should be the generation that understands computers because they started to develop when I was a kid. Okay. I remember playing Oregon Trail on the computer that was about this thick, that had the keyboard down here and the green screen, and it popped up all the pixelated and everything like that.
Well, and doing papers on DOS on WordPerfect and Lotus 1-2-3. Yeah, I was.
Yeah, and we should understand computers better than we do, but it's not us. It's my kids. My kids can whip through a computer in 2 minutes and tell you everything about it. They know everything about it. They still look at me going, "Dad, you're such an idiot." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." But it's weird to me that people like me exist, that these things are intimidating to me. Now, prior to my motorcycle accident, I had a relationship with computers that they knew, I didn't like them, they didn't like me, and we didn't care who knew it. If there was a computer around, I was going to start screaming at something. All right. Because if I had to use it, I was going to scream at something because I was going to throw that computer. It didn't care. Now we've come to a workable solution, but it's been made much easier by your program. I will be completely honest with you.
I'm glad to hear that.
What is one of the things that you offer people that you really think that people should be using more than they do?
I think that most businesses, and especially if you're doing any kind of business online, having that CRM, so that the customer relationship management, so being able to keep track of all of the contacts that you are dealing with, whatever they are. I think that is key, because they always say that the fortune is in your contact list. So having that, and a lot of people don't keep track of that information. Communicating with them on a regular basis. So like you're sending out your newsletters and your emails, and doing that's a really important piece that a lot of people don't take the time to do. And you can schedule like the recurring messages or things like that. And I think that a lot of people, they're really overwhelmed by the idea of marketing because they don't want to get an email every day, or they don't want to bother people about, oh, I don't want to tell them about my business, or don't want to put it out there. So there's a fear thing. And then there's also, I don't want to bother people. And I think that's a really big misnomer about what marketing is. A lot of people do want to hear from us because, like you said, it's people forgot about you if you're not talking to them. So whether you are putting it out on social media on a regular basis and you're scheduling, I don't care if it's the same post every other week, and you're having those recurring messages go out, have something go out, something and have it recurring. Same thing with emails or text messages or things like that. Being able to communicate with people, that is, that's paramount to being able to run your business.
I'm going to tell you something that that your CRM did for me, and I was able to do a small something that, according to the email back, meant a lot. I got a notice back from one of the emails that said, "I am sorry, I am currently out of the office due to a family tragedy." And it was a canned email. I knew it was a canned email, but I was able to take in and read that and say, "Hey, check back with this person in a week and a half, make sure everything's okay." And when I reached back out to her, she said, "This is awesome that you did this, and I appreciate it." And I was like, well, I mean, it's not tough to do when you're reminded of it, that there is
Yeah.
somebody out there that may need something from you, or one of your partners, and maybe there's something that we can do just to help her through a tough time. And she ended up losing her mom, and it was very sad. And so it's one of those things that I put out there, and I asked her, "Is there anything that we can do for you?" Checking with the people who cared enough to allow me to send them this information. I think it really puts a special thought in their mind that you're actually paying attention to what's going on too, and it's a great way to make sure that they understand that you are doing business, but this is not a canned response. This is something that's coming out, and you're paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
uh,
My husband and I have both had some medical things this year that neither one of us were expecting. He had heart attacks in January, and I had my gallbladder basically go out on me in March. And after my husband's stuff in January, he's fine, by the way. We I kind of did a little bit of a shift in my business. Now, this program will work for anybody, for real estate, for contractors, for the roofers, for the massage therapists, for anybody, because it can be customized for what each industry needs, and for nonprofits, it can work for anybody. But one of the things what they tell you in marketing is to kind of niche down, to narrow down your audience. And I wanted to help more people like my husband and I, or people that are in our situation. So one, helping the people like me trying to run a business and take care of my husband while we go to appointments, and while we were out, and while we were at the hospital for the week. So I wanted to help the caregivers, basically. But I also
mhm.
want to help the other side of it with the health and wellness professionals that are trying to help my husband and I get better. So it's not, and so I'm still working with everybody, but I like that little bit of a narrow niche, especially the caregivers, because I know what it's like. This is, dealing with my husband's stuff. This is the fourth time I've gone through the caregiving process. And one of the things in both times I should have realized, and I didn't realize it until later, was I should set up a list in my app so that when something happens like this, I can notify the important people in my family really easily, because we have the kids and the grandkids and the sisters and brothers and whoever else. So I can send a group email or a group message, and it goes to people singularly, so that they're not
Mhm.
getting all those group responses that we do through text message. I don't have to deal with that. Or the people that are using just Messenger or whatever else, it got really complicated to try to keep people in the loop, and I could have used my own system to do it for me. So it's kind of thinking things through like that, to be able you can communicate with anyone for any number of reasons. And that's why having a system like this, and you can do a lot of it literally, there's an app for your phone, so you can have access to your contacts, your emails, your conversations of wherever it's coming from. And you can, if you're scheduling through the system with the scheduling links, like a Calendly type thing, the system has that process. You can respond to people saying, "Hey, I've had an emergency pop up. I need to reschedule." And those links are really easy to send to people. Can you just click this link and figure out a time next week or whatever. And that automation makes life so much easier. And the piece of the automation that I like is that you can customize it to the point of making it specific for what you need, for what your business needs, for your language, your tone, the things that you need to talk about in your messages. It's about you and what you need to tell your contacts, your leads, your clients. And it's not just the canned messages. You can make it anything you want.
Is there a financial a gateway to where you can collect money in your program?
Absolutely. In
Because
fact, one of the things I was gonna to let you know is this: if you have at some point maybe you want to do like either like an auction or something's happening that one of your families really needs some extra help, and maybe you want to solicit some extra donations, a form can be set up in the system really easily with a kind of like a payment gateway, and you can actually let people choose what amount they want to donate. So it can be a donation of, and you can give suggested amounts like 5, 10, 20, 100,
yeah,
or they can enter their own, and it's just on a form, and people can start sending donations into you for your stuff from that really simply. So it's connected to Stripe, it's connected to PayPal. We're going to be, the developers announced yesterday that they're going to do a Square integration here in the next probably quarter. It's connected to 2 other payment authorization apps, but you can collect payments mainly through Stripe is how I do it. But so it connects with Google Pay and Apple Pay and all the things. So there's invoicing and subscriptions and yeah, all kinds of different things that you can do with payments through the system.
explain the wallet to people, that you have a wallet that you can put in there, that the money just comes out of there from that.
Yeah, so the system has a monthly subscription. For my system, it's like $99 a month, and you get the full system. Then you can get more of my time by spending more each month. Different people do different things with a high level. You can buy just specific services or things like that with other providers. I'd rather just give you the whole thing, and then pay for the extra hand holding, I guess, or the extra tech help. But one of the things that people like HubSpot or MailChimp or, some of these other companies that are more well known, if you get a certain number of contacts, then they're going to start charging you more. Or like with MailChimp, you get the free email until you get to a certain number of contacts, and then they're going to really start charging you. So what high level does is you can have as many contacts as you want. You can send, as much as you want. You can do all that stuff. It's not going to go up, but you actually do have to pay to use. So you pay to send the text messages, you pay to send the emails. So you can choose what what your threshold is, how many you want to send out. To send an email is less than pennies. So you can get about 10,000 emails for $10. So you know what you're spending generally each month. You can get about 1,000 text messages. My number may be a little bit off, but roughly about 1,000 text messages for about $10. There's also AI capabilities within the system as well. There's ways that the AI can help you create images. It's in the system. It can help you write your emails or your funnel landing web pages, your social media posts. It has AI, it has ChatGPT built into the system to help you come up with ideas, and it has the image generators and things like that. You can also do one of the things that I was showing you the other day was the system connects with your Google business profile. So you can start sending people review requests through the system. And then when someone leaves you a review, there's an automatic AI that will respond to that review for you. So you don't have to do that. So with this new move with AI, there's that. So the wallet is basically, going back to the question, you put in that you have, $10. Then those communication charges or using the AI charges comes out of that. And then you get to a threshold, say you're down to your last dollar, the system will automatically charge you to get you back to that $10. So it's a pay as you use kind of system.
Yeah. One of the things that you were just mentioning reminded me of this. You guys are very, very up to date. The programmers and everything that you guys work with are very up to date on compliance with the text messaging, as we mentioned, the emails and everything else. And so there are a lot of steps to get this set up, but it's a lot more secure. And you're able to do a lot more with customers, making sure that they see this, because there's extra time and extra work being put into this, right?
Yes, absolutely. So the last year, the cellular companies got together, came up with their own regulatory commission to make sure that there's not as much spam going across their lines. So there is a new compliance feature that you have to become registered with their regulatory committee, and so that you can send text messages back and forth, especially marketing messages. The same thing with emails. You have to have a specific, if you're going to be doing business and sending emails from a business system, then you have to have be compliant in a lot of different ways, have some very specific codes set up where you bought your domain to make sure that you can send those emails, because they don't want spam any longer either. They really want to start cracking down on all of that. And so that went into effect in February. They started it. April, it really took a big hit. So that's a big piece. They want you to have privacy policies and terms and services and terms and conditions. And there's a new piece now about the privacy laws in Europe has GDPR. Well, we still have to be compliant with some of that as well. If there's going to be someone from London looking at our website for any reason, we still have to be somewhat compliant. So you're seeing a lot of websites have these cookie notifications. So we have that built into the system so that we can really easily, show that, yes, we have that tracking. We connect with Google Analytics so that you can see what's going on with who's visiting your site, any of your pages and any of that stuff. And so that we can have all of those pieces in place.
I just seriously, I kicked myself for not talking to you earlier, because I know that, I imagine, but if I would have made the move 6 months earlier, I imagine how much better off I would be right now. But I do appreciate everything that you do personally, and to support what we do. You are also now, you have joined the family, so you are now part of the community Pay It Forward giving family. What are some of the causes out there that you love to support?
I love anything, quite honestly, veterans and animals. My husband is an Army veteran. I'm not that much younger than you, quite honestly. I am in my late 40s. My husband is quite a bit older than I am, and he went into the Army during Vietnam, luckily. And I still think my lucky stars and his lucky stars, instead of sending him to Vietnam, they sent him to Germany. Yep. So my husband is a veteran. His father before him was a veteran. My other grandfather was as well. So, and my best friend, her husband is a retired Navy officer. He was in submarines. So veterans is definitely a big one for us. And then I've had pets most of my life. I have 2 now, and helping animals is kind of a big thing. I hate that there's so many dogs in shelters, that so many pets get abused just by people being weird or being people. I don't know, but those are the kind of videos I can't watch. I got to get away from them. But yeah, those are the types of things that I tend to go towards a little bit more.
Yeah, as you well know, I've got a couple dogs myself. I've got a couple pets that think that they usually have to be part of everything that we do, so, but I go a little bit weirder. I've got a 27-year-old tarantula.
Okay.
My husband
won't let me kill the spiders. Yeah.
Yeah. So, ironically, my father, 1971, He was in Berlin. I spent the first 3 years of my life in Berlin at the very end of Vietnam. So
Wow.
yeah. So my dad was with your husband in Germany instead of Vietnam. Thank God. All respect to everyone who
Yeah,
served anywhere.
absolutely.
So, but Tanya, how did they get a hold of you?
So my website is been on the screen. It's smartvirtualsolution.com, or you can email me at Tanya@smartvirtualsolution.com. He does have my text number. That does go directly into my system. So that's the cool thing. And so that when you do text me, it saves in my system. I have a contact that saves the all of our communication save. So that's one of those really cool things about the system, is it has that. One of the things that they really love, that high level really loves to talk about, and this works really well for the people that work with their hands a lot. So whether it's that hairdresser or the roofer, the plumber, the house cleaner, whatever it is, there's this thing called a missed call text back. That if you use this phone number like we have in mind and you call me, then you can someone calls your line that you have connected with the system, then you can't answer it. It knows that there's a real person on the other side. It will automatically send that person a text message to say, hey, I am sorry. I am up to my elbows in goo. What can I help you with? And let's try to, I'll get with you. I'll get right back with you in a few minutes when my hands are dry, or whatever it is. It's like if they're talking to a plumber or something like that. And that's the biggest thing that most people complain about when they're looking for a service provider, is they're going down this list and they're just looking for someone to answer the phone.
Yeah.
So if you find, if you can get back to them right away, then, oh my God, how much more money can you make just by having that?
It's fantastic. I mean, it really is. And again, don't be like me and wait for 6 months before you call. Call and find out, because like I said, you as a business owner, and especially a solopreneur, you've got your head so wrapped up in what you're doing in a day. If you can take a look at this program and see how much easier it can make some of those things. There's been a couple times in the last 3 weeks that I've kind of sat here and went, wow, I have to find something to do. I'm not used to that. There was always, oh my God, I've got to get this done. And it felt like I was doing it over and over and over again, because I was. And now I've got the freedom, and it's really helping me be a hell of a lot more productive, a hell of a lot better responsive. The being able to be responsive, like you said, I think that is one of the most important things that we've got going.
Yeah. And I love that the email is working so well for you, because, the MailChimps, the MailerLites, the Constant Contacts, they actually try to hide the fact that they're not getting those emails delivered. They're not telling you that they're going into spam. They don't care to tell you that stuff. They don't want to tell you, because they want to keep you using that service. So they'll tell you that, the open rates or whatever else, but at least with my system, and you're seeing it firsthand,
Yeah.
Literally down to the granular level, whose email is going through, whose email is not going through, it's not being delivered, who is opening it, who is not opening it. And you can actually see very specific reports that this email address got through, they clicked my link, and you can see all of those very specific things.
Yeah, we just went through before we started recording, and I had some that they weren't able to send, and I was able to go back, and I was looking at them, and one of the emails I recognized, and I realized why it didn't go through, and it was my mom's old email address, and my mom doesn't really check her new emails either, but I mean, this is an email address that's no longer in service. Mm-hmm. There were a couple other friends on there that I know that they no longer work for those companies. So it helps you to refresh and catch up with people And again, this is just something that it is so nice that you're able to sit there and you're able to reconnect with so many people that maybe you've lost track of. Even worse, they've lost track of you. So again, Tanya at smartvirtualsolutions.com, reach out to her, schedule an appointment, because I am telling you right now, and you can do that at smartvirtualsolutions.com. Go and check it out, schedule your appointment. You will be shocked on, one, how easy this is to use, two, how well and how easy it is to work with Tanya.
Thank you.
Because that is so important, to have somebody that can be there and literally hold your hand and work through it with you. And I'm one of those guys that I need that. And she's been very, very helpful with that. So, Tanya, thank you and welcome to the family again.
Thank you.
I cannot wait to continue this partnership, and we get to help people in business and help people in need. And I appreciate you joining with us.
Thank you so much, Zach. And I look forward to meeting more of the family.
All right. Thank you.
I can't express to you how bad I am and how slow I am when it comes to learning technology. It's difficult for me. Like I said, I think it's weird. Like I had said in that video, I think it's kind of weird that we, people of my age, I'm in my mid 50s. I think that we should know more about technology than what we do. We ought to be able to whip through it because we were there during the birth of, modern technology, but we don't. And I think one of the reasons why is because when we were younger, we didn't have like the cell phones that came out every year, and things pretty much stayed the same. We didn't have, we had Rocky 1 through 45. We didn't have like movies just coming out and instantly they're in front of us. Everything that we had came at a slow burn, and we got to learn about them a little bit more. We got to see them over and over and over again, and we lived with the same stuff over and over and over again. And these computers and this software changes so quickly. I think that it's brain overload. We're so focused on everything else in our companies and our lives that a lot of times we just don't. It's hard for us to keep up with it. So visiting Tanya is a great start. It's a great place to get started. It's a great place to start learning a lot more about what they're doing. Reach out to her at Tanya at smartvirtualsolutions.com. Once again, Tanya at smartsolutions.com. Businesses, nonprofits, I am telling you right now, if you struggle with marketing, with online marketing, with social media marketing, with any of that, call her. There's no obligation to talk to her. And of course, let her know, hey, you know what? We saw you through Community Pay It Forward. We would like to learn some more. You decide to go with her, you're going to be able to give back to someone in the community who has asked for our help. Tanya at smartvirtualsolutions.com. Our next guest, I just got done talking to her about an hour ago, and I wasn't going to share this video. I didn't plan on sharing this video today, but after talking to her, there's no choice but to share this video today. To all of my nonprofit friends who have said to themselves, why am I not getting these grants? Why can't I find the perfect grant? Why funding, what is going on? Please take a moment, sit down, tune out everything else and listen to my brand new friend. And hopefully within the next week, it'll be partner Kimberly Sellers Bates, Dr. Kimberly Sellers Bates. This was fantastic. This was eye-opening. This was so neat. And her energy, her power, and her words just had me on edge the whole time, because I felt energized. I mentioned Dr. Look, I'm excited about the prospect of working with her, but I'm most excited about all of our smaller nonprofits that are out there, having a chance to take and work with Dr. Bates and living this dream that we're trying to get you to. So please check this out. This is Dr. Kimberly Sellers Bates. Every once in a while, and it happens with me quite often, you come across and you have a conversation with somebody that is just so light up the world. It's amazing. And I had that conversation a couple days ago and had to have her on. I said, I don't care if we do business or not together. I want to have you on because what you do is so amazing. And it's huge focus on nonprofits. So any nonprofit out there, please, please, please take a little bit of time, sit down and check this out. Joining me right now is Dr. Kimberly Sellers Bates. Hello, how are you doing, Doc?
Hi, I'm great. How are you, Zach? It's a pleasure to see you again.
Yes, like I said, we had such an amazing conversation, and I just wanted to make sure that we got this word out to people, because there are so many nonprofits out there who are frustrated, and we're going to be talking about it here in a little bit, but then they think that there's nothing out there for them because they're not taking the right steps to get these grants. So first off, I mentioned the title doctor. Can you tell us about your degree and the doctor?
Yes. Well, I have a bachelor's degree from the Alabama State University in Montgomery. I am completing a nonprofit certification class at Morris Brown College. And because of the grants that I've had funded nationwide, I was given an honorary doctorate by an organization that recognizes people in the community who have made substantial impacts. So I don't say doctor because it's honorary, but a lot of people do, and I embrace it and I accept it, and I want the people listening and watching to know that I will be working on my doctorate at the Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta, Georgia. So, but that's been my journey. I'm big on learning, lifelong learning. I'm big on finding out things that I may not be as knowledgeable about. I learned a long time ago that knowledge is power, but I embraced all learning. I really do. And I will continue to enroll in programs. I attend seminars, webinars, just so I can enhance my abilities to help the community at large.
You know, Doc, I think that that's something that you and I have in great common, because I have a statement that I tell people all the time, that the day I stop learning is the day that I leave this earth.
Oh, yes.
I feel that necessity to learn.
Yes.
I want to learn both sides of a subject. I want to learn everything I can.
Yes.
Why it happened, when it happened,
Right.
what would have, what was the result if it didn't happen, and what was the result because it happened,
Yes. Yes.
so much that you can learn about everything. And
Mhm.
it's just it like you, I'm fascinated with it.
I
Um,
know.
yeah.
My husband says,
So
how many more classes are you going to take?
yeah, it's kind of funny that I'll sit there and my wife will come into our family room and I'll be watching something on Rome again,
Yeah.
and or on the mob or something like that.
Yes.
I'll be watching it and she'll go, how many times are you going to watch the same stuff? And I'm like, until I stop learning something new,
Exactly. We are
so
kindred spirits. I knew that, Zach, when we met.
that is very true. So and I would also like to say that, you know what, honorary or not, Doc fits you well, so we're going to continue to call you Doc.
Thank you very much. I'm honored. Thank you.
So do me a favor and give us a little bit of information about KSTB Enterprises.
Oh, I'm just excited to do so. I was working full time at a college and way back when, and the vice president of development started seeing things in me. And she actually exposed me to prospect research, to grant writing, to annual fund. And as a result of that, I learned to do 501c3 applications. People started coming to me off site. They would call me and say, hey, can you help us get a 501c3? Can you help us get a grant? And I found out I was good at it. So I'm working this full-time job all during the day, and then at night working for myself, helping these people calling me. And my husband finally said, hey, look, you cannot continue to burn the candle at both ends. Make a decision. So I resigned from my position, my full-time position, started KSTB Enterprises in 2007, and the rest is history. I said to him, I will try this for 1 year, but that was in 2007. So I have been very fortunate to connect with institutions of higher learning, to connect with hospitals, to connect with community organizations who are in need of grant funding. And not only the funding, the research to find the funding. So I have grown the company. I started by myself in the dining room, as most people watching and listening probably have done as well when they're starting their business. But now I have grown and been able to employ full and part-time people. So I want to give a huge shout out to the team of KSTB Enterprises. I have 8 full-time employees and the rest are part-time or contractors. But I want you to know I couldn't do the things that I do without them. So shout out to my team.
That is so cool. One of the things, I was just showing your website, and one of the things that's so very exciting on there, 19,378,053 dollars in grant money awarded.
Yes, yes. We have been very successful. We have an 85% success rate in securing grant proposals and a 100% success rate in securing nonprofit status. So we work very hard for our clients. No matter how many clients we have, we treat everyone that they are the only one. They all get treated the same, whether their revenue is $100,000 or $1 million. We make sure that everyone knows that they are valued in the KSTB family.
I got a question for you, Doc, with that. We have ambition on turning Community Dare to Care into, and that's our organization where we hand out free outreach to anybody.
Yeah.
We don't ask any questions. It's if they need clothing, come see us.
if we've got it, it's yours to take.
Yes.
I am a little gun shy with putting together a board because I had a very, very difficult
Mm.
time with a board. I'll explain to you more offline, but um what what are some of the things that somebody is putting together a nonprofit? What are some of the things that where should they start? Where should they go first?
Absolutely. The first thing I need for them to do is determine what their mission is.
Yep.
You need to know what you're doing before you bring other people in. I will tell you that I have notebooks in my office that I started in 2007. So each year has a notebook. I write everything down, my goals, what worked, what didn't work. I had to have my infrastructure in place prior to starting A, my company, but B, I also have a foundation. So before I put anyone on the board, I decided this is what the foundation will do. These will be my priorities. This is how much I need in terms of funding. So after you figure all of that out, that's when you can open it up and say, hey, I'm looking for board members. Most grassroots nonprofits start with family and friends. And they do that because they are trying to make sure, hey, these people are on my team. And you have to be very careful when you select board members. So I would get the infrastructure in place first, have a starting board. You don't want to have an initial board with 10 people, 20 people. Everyone has a difference of opinion. They might not always be on board with what you want to do. So get your infrastructure in place first. Know what you're doing, know what your focus is, because when they come in and start putting other ideas in your head, it becomes very difficult. So I was fortunate that when people, and they still be trying to whisper in my ear, you should be doing this. You know what would be a good idea? If you did a travel agency, blah, blah. You know what? Why would I do that? I'm an expert in my field. I'm not trying to do all these other things. So get your infrastructure together first.
I absolutely 1,000,000% agree with you. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm taking this so slowly, but so I'm trying to make sure that everything is to the T to where it's not going to happen. Oh, look who popped up again. Look, not coming at me like it did before.
Yes.
You have let's go on ahead and let's get back to KSTB Enterprises.
Yes.
One of the problems that people have is they'll say, you know, I talked to a grant writer and they said that we're not ready, or they the grant writer couldn't find anything.
Yes.
That's a problem with the owner or with the board itself, right? They haven't done their homework.
That's a very interesting question, and I'm so glad that you posed it. I work with my clients to make sure that they are grant ready. When they come to me and they say, oh, well, I had a grant writer and he or she didn't do anything. Okay, well, let's talk about that. Let's see exactly what they did, what they weren't able to do, but more importantly, why. First of all, KSTB has a robust database of funding opportunities. We get a data dump every night at midnight telling us about the different private foundation, city, county, state, and federal grant opportunities. Now, with that, you have to be grant ready to submit a competing application. So, in addition to some of the grant writers not having access to a database, they may not have a big pool of funders for you to look at. Now, the second thing is, are you grant ready? Do you have an audit, which some funders want that? If you're just starting out, you may not have an audit. But if that's a requirement, we stay away from those opportunities. But there are so many other thousands of opportunities. Do you have an active board? Is your board engaged in what you're doing? Are they committed to your organization? Do you have programs? Okay, are these programs relevant? Are they making an impact? How do you know? Where are your objectives? Where are your outcomes? Have you had everything analyzed and so on and so forth? Those are things that you need to do to ensure that you're grant ready. Do you have financials in place? Basic things. Do you even have a bank account? Are you on GuideStar? If you are, do you have a seal of transparency? We can do all of those things for you, but before you come and say my grant writer didn't do anything, have you looked at yourself? So one of the things we do when you first come on board, and we insist on this, is a fundraising plan. Where are you now? Where are you trying to go? But more importantly, our plan gives you how you're going to get there. You get a grant calendar. I said earlier, you need to apply for a minimum of 2 grant proposals per month. How active is your board in fundraising? Fundraising should be on the agenda for all board meetings. We come in, we do our report for you. We don't have to stay for the entire board meeting, but we do come in for the fundraising piece. Does the board receive the information that they need to make decisions, to make sure that the organization is propelling itself forward? Is it sustaining itself? Do you have a strategic plan? So when I say, are you grant ready? People contact us and they say, oh, we can't wait to work with you. And then we really start working with them. And the first thing they say is, wow, we didn't realize it was going to be all of that. But again, if you go to our website and you see the amount of dollars that we raise for our clients, you will understand how they were positioned to get there.
You would not have raised $19 million for organizations if organizations were leaving money on the table, would you?
Oh, goodness, no. We do not allow you to leave money on the table. We have weekly meetings with our clients, and in those meetings, we talk about, hey, let's pull out your grant calendar. These are the things that are available. Also, these things have popped up. Also, have we done our calendar in terms of annual fund? You see, we do more than grants at KSTB. It takes 4 funding streams to sustain an organization. That's annual fund, which is individual giving. That's the fastest way you can get dollars in the door. We have a text to give program where we position you to get donations directly to your bank account from text messages. So annual fund is the first funding stream. Of course, grants, signature fundraisers, and corporate sponsorships. The ideal dollars that you want are general operating. So when you do a signature fundraiser in your annual fund, all of those dollars go to general operating.
One of the misconceptions is that, okay, we can fund ourselves with only fundraising. That's not true. You cannot, you're never going to get accepted if all your money is coming from fundraising, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. Listen, there are program fees. There are several things that you can do. Contact us and we will help you get everything in place. You know, our goal is to make the community where it is positioned to do greater things. So you come to us with an idea, and we have people on staff to walk you through to make sure that you are compliant with your state, with the IRS. And, you know, people know that when they work with us, these organizations that we represent are on the up and up. They do incredible things in the community. Listen, we have very small clients where all they do, and I don't mean all they do like, oh, it's nothing. No, all they do is they feed people once a week, compared to some of the larger organizations that do all these huge things. But we are working with them to build. You don't have to do everything right now. We build on your programs. So yes, when you talk about different areas to fund the nonprofit, there are so many different ways. And we work with you to identify those and implement them.
Yeah, and that's the reason why things like corporate sponsorships, like that's one of the reasons why a lot of times you see like thrift stores tied to
Yes.
these organizations, because you
Yes.
have to have an income stream coming
Yes.
in.
Yes.
It doesn't depend on, hey, look, if the economy crashes, people aren't going to be donating as well. Can
Yes.
you survive this?
Yes. Yes.
So it's so vitally important that you think about things that way. I also love the fact that you brought up, there might be organizations out there that focus on feeding once a week. I think that we need to support those organizations so much. They realize, a lot of times they realize, we want to feed every day. We want to feed every meal. We want to feed every person. But we're going to focus on this right now.
Right. And you know what? And that has been our premise from the beginning. We have people that say, I want to have a shelter where I help men with children, which is, usually it's the women and the children. Okay, how can we take the steps to get there? So we start here, then we go here, and so on and so. And before you know it, they have apartments available for the men and their children. So, but they don't start out with the apartments. So you have to kind of take some baby steps, and we walk with you through that journey. We are very, very proud to say that we have clients who have been with us since 2007. And thankful that they still see the benefit in being with us. We are like a family. We support our clients in what they're doing with their programs, with their outreach efforts, with their seminars. We are there because we are a team, and we want to make sure that our clients succeed. And I do want to say this one thing that I think is so important. People, please listen to me when I tell you this. Stop fishing in the same pond. Everyone comes to me and says, oh, can you introduce me to this person? I want to go to this foundation. It's all the big ones. There are thousands of foundations. So come to us. We have a database. We will help you stop fishing in this same pond that everyone else is going to.
That just that first off, when it comes to the steps, that makes so much sense, because Usain Bolt didn't come out of the womb running. Let's put it that way. So and then when it comes to as fishing from the same pond, that's so important, because you got to remember that, yes, you may have heard of these people who like to donate, but here's the problem. So is other people. And so you're trying to throw your name in with some, with hundreds of other people, when you guys would have the resources to where they're able to take and say, we got somebody that we might be able to team you with a little bit better.
So that's important. And also, one of the keys that works for us in terms of funding strategies is we don't go on blind dates. And what I mean by that is we don't let the first time that a potential funder hears from us is when we're asking for money. So we cultivate relationships with our potential funders so that when they do get a proposal, they're like, oh yeah, I know who this is. They're following us on social media. They've sent us their newsletters. They attend our events. They've contacted program managers. So we do have a strategy. And also when you talked about board members, and this goes to donors as well, we provide wealth analysis. So if you come to us and say, hey, Zach is interested in donating to us, what can you tell us about Mr. Clayton? Well, we can do a wealth analysis and tell them, hey, this is how much he's worth. This is who he's given to in the past. This is a guesstimated amount that you should ask for. So it's a strategy to what we do. I have spent years perfecting this thing called fundraising. And so, yes, so that is what we provide to our clients. Listen, I'm just a girl from Adamsville in Atlanta. It's off Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. And I have one younger sister and me. I'm the oldest. My parents are deceased now. But the thing is, my dad was a serial entrepreneur. He always had a business doing this, doing this, doing this. And I guess I got that buzz. But the thing is, what I learned to do, I learned to perfect it. Like we were just saying, Zach, I continue to take classes. I continue to make sure that I have kept abreast of the things that's happening in the world that is key to funding opportunities for clients. So I am very, very proud to say that this company that I have built is making an impact, not just in Atlanta, but all over the world. We are so thrilled and thankful that you all trust us enough to get funding for you. And we are working diligently to keep our track record up.
I think just the statement on you need to be putting out 2 or 3 proposals a month. I
Yes.
think that right there is a reason to trust you, because that is somebody who is showing not only faith in your organization, but trying to take pride in helping your organization. They're
Yes.
not sitting there saying, you know what, we like your idea, but this is somebody who's actually putting love and into
Yes.
what you love. And we all know, look, you didn't start your nonprofit because, yeah, I woke up this Tuesday and I felt like helping people with cancer. You generally started your organization because you had a loss to cancer. You have cancer, something like that. So this is showing how much you show your love, and they're going to help you out. Doc, I've got one more for you.
Okay.
People with business grants.
Yes.
Are people looking for business grants? First off, yes, there are business grants out there. Okay.
Yes, true.
But
and
how you don't help people obtain business grants, but
yes, we refer them to the SBA after we position them to get this funding from the Small Business Administration. Now, listen, let me say this. There are a couple of options for people looking for business opportunities. There are contracts, government contracts that we can position you to get. So call us and we will position you to be able to bid on these contracts and opportunities that the government has. And we all know that the Department of Defense is, that's the biggest one. Everyone must get in with them, but you have to be positioned to deal with them and to get these contracts. That's the first thing we can do. The second thing we can do is get you ready to go to the Small Business Administration. We don't write grants for businesses. Now, we do business plans, but then we turn it over to you to take to your funding institution or, your angel investor or whoever. So we do that. But we typically tell people, hey, go ahead to the SBA. We can help you fill out that paperwork. But in terms of going to a potential funder, that's not what we do. But again, we will do your business plan for you. So the SBA has a lot of funding areas, and I suggest people contact them for businesses. But if you want to do business with the government, call us.
Yeah. Well, that's just kind of, I mean, that's really telling people, hey, don't go to an interview wearing a hockey jersey. Okay. Make sure that you're ready for it. Make sure that you're ready.
Yeah. Be ready. Be grant ready.
Ready before you try to go and apply. If you're not ready, it's going to show. If you're not ready, it's going to hurt. So,
can I say one more?
Absolutely. You can say whatever you want to say.
In terms of going to funders, we provide prospect research profiles. That's actually how I got my start. So if your industry is feeding people and you need to know, okay, who should I be going to? Contact us. Whether you want us to write the grant or not, let us at least give you the prospects to know who you can go to. If you're meeting with an individual that you want to be a donor, don't go to him blindly. Come to us. Let us do the research and present it to you so that A, you'll know who you're talking to, B, you'll know their capacity to give, and C, you'll know whether or not they're even interested in an organization like yours. Listen, we can't waste time when it comes to doing things in this community, in your community, for the population that you're serving. Just because you heard that AT&T gives out grants doesn't mean that they give to your organization.
Yeah.
So contact us and we'll match you with potential funders.
There's money out there.
Yes.
For more things than you realize.
Yes.
There are a lot of them that get overly publicized. We know that there's a lot of things out there for people of color or
yes.
But these are the ones that are always publicized.
Yeah.
You don't know about, you don't often hear about the ones that are for women business owners or left-handed business owners. That's I know for a fact there are grants for left-handed business owners.
There are. One of the things that when we were in the pandemic, it was surprising to me that more people didn't come to us for those relief funds. Mm-hmm. A lot of foundations changed their focus just to be able to work with organizations during the pandemic. So follow us on social media. Go to our website. I blog. I do interviews. I'm always saying, giving you fundraising tips and things that will help you. Corporate governance with me is huge. So I have a training module where I will come to you and train your board. I have a nonprofit coaching session where we will come to your office and train your staff. So we are running the full gamut here. And Zach, meeting you has been one of the biggest blessings of my life, because I met you last week, and now I can't even imagine not knowing you. You are a phenomenal man who has a huge heart and a passion for serving others. So we want to thank you from KSTV. Thank you so much for recognizing us, but we want to recognize you.
I thank you for that. We're still trying to find our stride, but when we build the kind of connections like we're building with you, like we built with other people. Just to throw her name out there, because she is like you. Talking to her is like talking to sunshine. Marie Barney Boston Foundation, another wonderful person. These are just to be in the spotlight. These are the organizations that need to be known. And I'm going to tell you again, and I do say this often, okay, but this is so very important. Folks, we know that donations are so important for nonprofits, but going to the leader of nonprofits and say, hey, have you heard about KSTB?
Yeah.
Have you heard about them? Because you know what? We saw them on a podcast, and we know that you've been struggling to find grants.
Yeah.
That is so important to them.
Yes.
I mean, it's more important than you'll ever know. Talk to them, talk about them. The more people know, the better the result. The better the result. So
thank you so much, Zach. Please contact us. We are here. We answer our phones. So, and we respond to email. So please contact us. We are excited to talk to you all. And Zach, please keep up the good work. And I will be wearing red next Friday.
Yeah, like I said, it comes across a lot of times like I'm just dressing down, but I'll always wear my red on Fridays. I'm always wearing a red shirt and a red hat on Fridays. Usually I wear the hat that my granddaughter bought me it's black and white with the polar bear on it, because that's all about me, but not on Fridays. So
well, I'm going
today I get my national champions and my Devil's hat. So okay, Doc, people can call you at 770-756-7565. Once again, that's 770-756-7565. Or they can email you at kstb@kstbenterprises.com. kstb@kstbenterprises.com. You can also please visit their website. It's a beautiful, beautiful website full of such inspiring numbers. ktsbenterprises.com. Do you have any other words of wisdom you'd like to share before we end the show?
Yes, I want to thank everyone for planting seeds that grow trees whose shade you may never enjoy.
I think we couldn't end on a more perfect note.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you, Doc. We look forward to working with you and your team for a long time to come.
Same here. I'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Bye.
Told you. That's all I have to say. Told you. Such a fantastic lady, such a fantastic program. Very excited that we will be working closely with them in some fashion. We don't know exactly how yet. Maybe jumping the gun, who knows? But I know there's a desire for us to work together. And I know for a fact that all of my nonprofit friends out there, I'm going to send them to you. I'm going to send that information to you because I think that it might do you well to check it out. We didn't get into pricing. We don't know any of that. But come Monday morning, I'm going to send, after we have our next talk, I'm going to start sending that off. So please be expecting that. Hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thank you for joining us on this Friday. Not Wednesday, but thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at communitypayitforward.us. That's our website, communitypayitforward.us. You can always email me at zach@communitypayitforward.us. That is ZAK@communitypayitforward.us. Or you can call me or send me a text at 970-909-0751, 970-909-0751. To be honest with you, calling me is a little difficult to do. I am running around a lot, and so phone calls, I can't always answer them. So send me a text and I'll call you as soon as I can. Let me know what you need and I'll get back to you. Hey, everybody, please take care of each other. We're all we got. Make sure that you love somebody out there, because somebody out here loves you. And as we always say, if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. So you know what? Let's all remember that no one has to go alone when we all come together. I will see you on Monday with Footprints Forward and Wednesday with Community Impact. My name is Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PAC channels. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Play it safe, be safe, have fun, and we'll see you next week.